Earlier in the story, we talked about Hurricane Kiko, some of the impacts that are expected there in Hawaii, but we're now going to give more of a satellite view of what we can expect from it because it was up to a Category 4. Luckily, it has weakened. It is now to the northeast of Hawaii, around east of Hawaii, and it is expected to stay to the north, which is good news. Initial model runs from about last week had a direct landfall, but we do now see it going further north. It will still have impacts, as you did saw earlier, that we can see some storm surge at times, so something to keep in mind. But it is luckily we're not going to have the worst case scenario when it comes to this hurricane in Hawaii. But let's now look at here in the Northland, because you'll notice that today is going to be a little bit warmer than it has been over the last few days. We've been under a cold stretch, but highs today are going to be seasonal, upper 60s, low 70s, and as we're going to be a similar story as we go into Tuesday. Now you do notice some cool spots. For example, on Tuesday, northwest Wisconsin going to UP. That's going to be some cooler areas, and the reason why is because we're also going to be seeing rain as we see the seasonal temperatures come back, and we're going to see the storm development start today, mostly on the Minnesota side. That's where we're expecting storm development to begin, and we're mostly going to see on the Minnesota side as we head into the evening. But overnight, we're going to start seeing some action as we get into northwest Wisconsin going to UP, and this is especially going to be the case as we go into Tuesday, as these line of storms continue pushing south as we go into our Tuesday. And if you look at here, when it comes to our severe outlook, we notice that we do see a marginal risk out further west, and this is because we can see some large hail with some of these storms, so something to keep in mind. And it's not just going to be large hail, with a decent amount of rainfall as well. In fact, some spots could probably see a few inches of rain, higher concentrations get on the Minnesota side and all the way across northwest Wisconsin into the UP. So we do have a marginal risk for excessive rainfall as well. So just keep an eye on potential severe weather, bringing some large hail and maybe some good downpours, causing some flash flooding as well. And if you look at here, here's the sea level pressure. You'll notice this little area of low pressure is not very distinct, but is allowing for a little bit of that instability. However, we're going to finally see another high pressure system make its way in as we head into the middle of the week. And this is going to lower our rain probability. In fact, if we look at a course for tomorrow, quite a bit high, especially in northwest Wisconsin and UP. By the time we're into Wednesday and especially Thursday, we don't have much of any rain probability. Some clouds will be sticking around, but overall we should be getting more sunshine, staying dry for the middle of the week. And when it comes to temperatures, we're going to see those temperatures start to warm up as well. But you will notice they're going to be off of the east. That's where the high pressure system is going to be. So we're going to have the impact from Lake Superior. And if we look at the temperature of Lake Superior, a bit cooler, into the 50s for much of the Lake Superior, which is a little bit cooler than it has been as we started into August going into September. Think to that cool stretch we're under. So we can see a bit of the lake breeze have a little bit more oomph behind it. So a lot of us, by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, into the 70s, right by Lake Superior, probably going to be staying more into the 60s thanks to that lake breeze. But overall, we're going to be continuing to warm up as we continue. By the time we get into the weekend, look at this, we're getting into the 70s, even upper 70s, as you can see there for Hayward as we get into especially Saturday. And if you look at the rain, that's going to start to return as well as we get into Friday, going into Saturday in the form of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And we're going to go back to the temperatures, because the reason why we're seeing these warm temperatures is this ridge right here. It's also we're not going to see a huge system make its way in like this coming Friday and Saturday. It's going to be more of a small disturbance. But if you pull this forward into next week, notice this ridge is just going to continue sticking around. So we're going to look like going to have the warm temperature stick around as well. And in fact, if you look at the Climate Prediction Center, here's the 6 to 10 day outlook, and now we're going to look at the 8 to 14 day outlook. Look at it, just above average for the Great Lakes region, and especially here around the Northland. So it looks like the warmer side of September is going to be sticking around through the middle of September, I should say, and that is why we're going to be feeling maybe more like summer. And you can see here in our 7-day forecast, 77 by the time we get to the weekend. Lava's into the upper 70s, bit more like summer overall. But until then, we're going to be seeing seasonal temperatures and some rain making its way in today.